Hello everyone, welcome to .NETMirror channel. Today we are diving deep into a topic every backend developer needs to master: API documentation, ASP.NET Core Web API. Especially we are going to look at OpenAPI and a fantastic modern tool called Scalar. If you have been working with .NET for a while, you are probably very used to seeing the default Swagger interface. But with the recent shifts in .NET ecosystem, especially moving into .NET 9, the landscape is changing. Let's explore what that means for your APIs. Let's quickly look at our agenda for today's session. We will start by defining exactly what is OpenAPI, and then we will introduce Scalar and why it is gaining so much traction. I will walk you through exactly how to enable Scalar in your app. Finally, we will jump into Visual Studio for a hands-on demo to see this in action. And at the end, I will try to show you the difference between Scalar and the Swagger. So, what exactly is OpenAPI? Think of it as the ultimate specification or the blueprint for your API. It's a standardized format written in either JSON or YAML that explicitly describes what your API does, what endpoints are available, and what data it expects and returns. The beauty of OpenAPI is its agility. It is entirely language agnostic, whether I'm architecting a microservice in C Sharp or a team is building something in Java or Python, the resulting OpenAPI document looks exactly the same. This creates a universal contract. Historically, this started as the Swagger specification. However, in 2015, it was donated to Linux Foundation and officially renamed to OpenAPI. As you can see in the diagram, having this blueprint drives the entire lifecycle from initial requirements and design straight through the developing, testing, deploying, and finally publishing the API for consumers to use. This brings us to Scalar. What is it? Simply to put, Scalar is a modern, simple alternative to the traditional Swagger UI we are all used to do. It acts as one unified platform for all your API needs. Based on entirely on the OpenAPI standard, it provides beautiful documentation, SDK generation, API client features, and governance. As you can see from the screenshot, the UI is incredibly clean. It looks like a high-end premium developer portal right out of the box, offering a much better developer experience for anyone consuming your endpoints. Let's get into the code. Enabling Scalar in your ASP.NET Core Web API is easy and straightforward. It takes three simple steps. We need to install a NuGet package. You can do this via CLI command .NET add package scalar.ASP.NET Core. Step 2, we jump into our program.cs file and register the required services. We simply add services.add This tells us application to generate underlying OpenAPI specification document. Step 3, we enable the middleware in our HTTP request pipeline. Inside our development environment check, we map two things. One is map OpenAPI. This shows the actual raw OpenAPI.json file. The second one is map scalar API reference. This shows the beautiful scalar UI typically accessible at the endpoint slash scalar slash v1. Also, with Scalar, you are not logged into the default look. You can easily pass on the options to change the UI theme, hide models, and set a custom title. For example, using the Lambda options, we can put with title option and change the visual style using with scheme. Let's get into the demo. In the Visual Studio, I have created a ASP.NET Core Web API project. We have CRUD endpoints here. Get certificates will return all certificates or filtered certificates. And we have one create endpoint with the post, and there is one certificate by ID. The last endpoint is the HTTP patch to update our certification available slots. For this endpoint, I used a DTO called update quantity. We are going and updating quantity for certifications, and this is the model we used in our API endpoints. If you look at .http file, I put all the endpoints here to test. Now let's run this app. The app is running at 7295. Let's browse this. Now with this, you are not able to access endpoints directly. You have to go and explicitly call your endpoints. So this is our first endpoint where it is returning all our certifications. We are passing empty query parameters. With this, right, you have to go and explicitly call each endpoint explicitly, and there is no way where you can see all your endpoints are available. To solve this, now we are going to enable the scalar. So let's go to the code, enable the scalar. So let me first add the package. Now the package is added. Let's enable the scalar. So to enable the scalar, go to your program.cs. Just say scalar.ASP.NET Core. Now let's go and put map scalar API reference. Let's run the app. To browse the scalar UI, just say scalar slash v1. Just with two steps, adding a package and enabling the API reference, now we are able to see all our endpoints together, and these endpoints are easy to read. Now let's go and invoke our endpoint. Now if you see here, we got 200 okay, and all certifications are available here. With this way, you can go and test your all endpoints. So let's go and let's try to add a new certification. So let me take the values from here. Now let's send this. And if you see here, 201 it is created and the fifth certification is available. Now let's go and browse the newly created certification. Let's pass the ID as 5, which is newly created. Now you can see the newly certification created is returning this endpoint. So this scalar UI makes your job very easy to test all your endpoints. Even you can see your different models available. So we have two models available here. One is certification, the other one is update slot quantity. And if you look at here, these are our two models available within the web API. Now what we will do is let's go and extend a little bit of updating the title as well as the theme and the layout. So let's go and put a lambda expression. So we already got the title. Now I have enabled API reference with lambda expressions. I'm trying to update the title, theme, and the classic layout. Let's run the app. Now let's go and refresh. Now if you see here, our theme is changed, and even you can see dotted mirror scalar CUD API title is coming up. And if you see here, it was modern before, now it is changed to classic. Even the theme is moon now. In this way, you can go and use different option within this lambda expression and change the settings whatever you would like to have. As you are giving this endpoint to the external users, let's see how we can extend our endpoint documentation. So to extend your endpoint documentation, let's go to the endpoint. So let's take the first endpoint. So you have to use, to provide the description, use endpoint description, and I'm trying to use the default whatever is coming. You can also have the endpoint summary as well. So let's use this. These two options will enable description and summary for your endpoint. And also for your query parameters, what you can do is just put description over here. If you put description in front of your query parameter, this will enable documentation for this particular parameter. If you want to enable documentation on the models, go and put similarly like here, say that description. This will enable documentation on your models as well. Let's go and put even on the update quantity. So here I'll just say that description. Now we enabled description for the endpoint, the summary, as well as description for this query parameter, even on the models. Let's refresh the app. Now if you see here, the description and summary is available. Even on the query parameter, there is a documentation available. When it comes to the model, if you go to the post, and you can see the documentation is available on the model as well. If you go to the model section, in the model also there is a description is available. Even on the certification, we added a description which is available here. Like this, you can go and extend as much as possible documentation for your users, which will enables to understand about your APIs. So the last option we will look at is each time you have to go and put scalar v1. So how we can enable by default when you are running the app. So to enable that, go to launch settings.json. Here just say that launch URL. Here you can say that in the launch URL just say scalar/v1, and same thing let's put for here also. And also now this time we'll say launch browser to true. So by putting launch browser true and launch URL to this one, when you run this app, automatically your scalar v1 will be enabled. You don't need to type each time. Yeah, now the browser is automatically launched and with the scalar v1 option. With this we are done with the demo. Let's go back to the PPT. Let's do a quick side-by-side comparison between Scalar and Swagger, especially using the Swashbuckle implementation. Swagger via Swashbuckle has been the long-standing default OpenAPI UI and ASP.NET Core for years. However, Microsoft made a significant shift and removed it as the default template starting in .NET 9. Scalar stepped in as the modern replacement in the official .NET 9 Web API templates. Look at the code difference. The old Swagger way of required Swashbuckle package, registering the add swagger gen, and then calling both use swagger and use swagger UI in the pipeline. The .NET 9 plus Scalar way uses the built-in OpenAPI capabilities. We just call add OpenAPI and then use a clean single line to map the UI called app.mapScalar API reference. So on the choice, it is very simple. For any new ASP.NET Core project running on .NET 9 or later, Scalar is the clear choice. Even for the older legacy project, the migration is easy and absolutely worth it for the improved developer experience and long-term support. To summarize why the community and Microsoft are leaning towards Scalar, it is actively maintained and provides a vastly superior UI UX. It features native integration with .NET 9 Plus and is built directly on top of the official OpenAPI package. It has excellent support for OpenAPI 3.x specifications. It is lightweight, fast, highly customizable, and provides a great try it out experience for developers testing endpoints right from the browser. That wraps up our look at the migrating to and enabling Scalar in your ASP.NET Core Web APIs. It's a small configuration change that yields a massive upgrade in how your APIs are documented and consumed. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this architectural breakdown helpful, please hit the like button, leave a comment if you have questions, and don't forget to subscribe to .NET Mirror channel for more deep dives into .NET and Azure. See you in the next video. Thank you.